So it's finally time for us to get this cladding up on the ceiling. It's been waiting in that barn for like 2 months or something, so this is very exciting. So the cladding that we've gone for is just from Wicks. It's a softwood, traditional softwood cladding is what they've called it. And it's 94mm wide and it's 8mm deep. And we got 2 different lengths just because we didn't know what sort of combinations we'd need. And annoyingly, this longest one that we've got from the back of the van doesn't quite reach these buttons.
That is very annoying.
Which is really irritating. So it might be that we have to chop some up and make it fit in different patterns or something like that. But never mind. But before we get any up there, we're going to put a nice stain on it, make it look a bit darker, and put some nice treatment on it so that it's protected from all the moisture that we're going to be creating in the van. We've got some samples here from Osmo, some sort of lighter ones down to darker ones.
Using our cute little mini sponges.
Yeah, I cut off a kitchen sponge. I don't really know how to do it. So we've got white, light grey, honey and amber, and I think it goes light to dark in that order.
So without having done them, if you had to put your money on it, which would you say is going to be the best?
I don't know. I feel like honey will be pretty good. Okay, here we go. Oh, interesting. That's quite a rusticy kind of look. Ooh. Interesting. I don't know. Considering we're going to have white walls and maybe some sort of dark blue, maybe dark green cabinets, we are kind of going towards this one up there. This
yeah, I like that one.
Because it will create a nice contrast, won't it? Okie dokie. Is that decision made then?
I think so. So you were wrong. It's not honey, amber. So we were thinking we'd just come out today and start getting ready to put up the ceiling. Then it's led us to try to figure out the larder, which we weren't thinking about.
Yeah. I don't even know if this is going to be a larder or not. We're trying to decide what to use it for. And the reason we're thinking about it is because it affects how we put our cladding on. And we thought, so where will it end down here? So, you know, you've got this handy strut going across there, and that kind of makes sense to do that. But then we thought, well, could we have it so that the cladding actually forms a back? But then you see, actually, that's quite a lot of space lost behind there. You can't really have big bottles or anything like that in there.
We could have the HP sauce. That's basically everything else would be a little bit too big.
So now we're wondering maybe it would be better to just have it finishing here, have that carpeted in there so you can fit more things in there, and yeah, just do that. Very annoying. You want to just do it and then you're like, well, but what happens here? So then you have to think about this cupboard, and then you're wondering what you're doing. Like, you're going to have a piece of wood that comes up here for your cupboard, or is it going to be recessed further back? Or
We're just going through and figuring out which pieces we're actually going to use, which
split.
quite a few of them are not the best.
Yeah, there's a split in this one. So we've got a nice rainbow this morning, just as we start work. I just hope that means it's not going to chuck it down in a minute.
Hopefully it's going the other way. Okay, I think we jinxed it.
Of course we did.
Hopefully it's going to pass.
Help me!
Quick detour. It's amazing how much time you lose because of the weather, isn't it?
Just about to start. Typical.
It's like it's a completely changed season in the space of about 1 minute.
Oh my god! Freak hurricane in Devon.
So just enough time to make a cup of tea, and round 2. Starts out again. Let's try again. So one thing we noticed when we were going through them all yesterday and sanding them is that some of them, there's quite a lot of variance actually between the different boards. Some of them are quite unsquare at the edge. So yeah, just for a few of them we're just going to go through and check, and if they're particularly bad then we're just squaring them off. It's like you settle down to write your autograph or something.
Yeah. We're just grouping them into different groups. We've got a group A and a group B depending on which line it is and on the ceiling. So just so we don't get confused. Just cut one of each length, and we're using those as a template so that we can cut multiple at the same time.
It's a ceiling production line.
Yeah.
Instead of measure twice, cut once. This is measure once, cut 4 times.
Yeah.
Your hair is covered in sawdust.
Standard. Cool, so that's all of them cut now. So we're just going to paint the back sides with some quick dry interior clear varnish just to protect them.
It says it should be dry in an hour for recoat, so on a nice day like today, hopefully we'll get it all done, but we do have quite a lot. That's so white.
One layer on, so we'll just leave them all for about an hour, come back and do another layer.
I'm starving.
Yeah. What time is it? Like 3 o'clock? I haven't had any lunch.
We wanted to get them all done before we went. Now for the fun part, hopefully.
There we are. Hopefully it's the right choice. It's too late now.
I mean, it's not, you haven't put it on yet.
Well, I mean, this is quite expensive, so kind of is. Got about 40 minutes to sunset, but look at these are looking amazing. I love this. We're kind of going for the sort of old rustic farmhouse type look, aren't we? I think.
Yeah, it looks good.
So, yeah, very happy.
Really easy to put on as well. It's almost like you actually can't do it too much. Like the wood knows how much it wants.
Yeah.
And then any extra just wipes over the top.
So that's it all done. That was pretty down to the wire. But I'm very, very happy.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
We've only used about a third of the whole tin.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised at that.
It's pretty good.
It's quite impressive.
Right, I'm so hungry again.
Yeah,
Let's go have some dinner.
So as you can probably tell, it's pretty windy today. So I hope that's not going to cause any problems for us doing these pieces of cladding, putting the top coat on. Probably fly away in the wind or something.
Instead of ending up on the ceiling, we're going to end up on the floor. Notice the difference?
Gives it a bit of a shine.
Got a very nice curvy piece of wood there.
Do you like it? So we're just focusing on this end of the ceiling at the moment. So what we've made is this piece of wood, which is going to sit roughly like so. And we've made this as big as that because we needed something for the front of the cupboard to actually affix to at the top. So that will be like a 2-in-1. The cladding will screw in and then the cupboard front will also screw in at the top. We're just using some riv nuts and some holes here, the same as everywhere else with the buttons. And then this is just made out of 2 pieces of 6mm plywood. And yesterday we glued them together and then bolted it in there overnight just to get the curve. And then today we've just sanded it and varnished it, so hopefully that'll work.
Just made a new max fan frame in about, what, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
That's progress.
Well, not a new one, an extra layer.
An adornment. Okay, so this should slide right up there like that. This fits pretty good. And then that should give us a nice bit of extra wood for the cladding to rest on, so it's level across the fan. You look like you're ready.
I am ready. I'm ready.
It is cladding time.
Yeah, I think we've finally got everything done now so that we can just put it up.
It's all just sitting there, like perfectly done. If you could get it like this from like here or something, it'd be really good to go.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
It's just like a ready-made pack.
So we think that we're going to start probably right in the centre and then work our way outwards, because what we don't want is to, I don't know, start on the left and then go to the right and it all looks a bit squiffy. So
So
hopefully
in
that
theory, it should be pretty easy. Holes are already drilled,
yeah.
marks are already made. Screw it straight in.
Okay, screw us in.
Buns are gonna go now. So we've got 3 boards, or 3 lengths of boards, mostly up now. We're just trying to figure out where the lights are going to go, because we're not sure which one to cut out to put them in. So we've like just kind of mocked up roughly where the cabinets for the bed might be, because we don't want the light to be obviously in the bit, but we also don't want them to be too close together on the ceiling. So a slight snag.
Very slight snag. Because we started with this centre piece right in the middle of the van, that now means that our join isn't going in between here. We're actually having the whole beam going over that gap here.
There's nowhere to screw
and
into.
there's nowhere to screw into, which I think we thought about that a long time ago when we were putting these battens in, and we've just totally forgotten. So I think we're going to have to take them down, move them along a bit, and then that'll be alright. We need to have the join
in the centre
there, so it's like that.
So we realised we'd done something else wrong as well. 2 mistakes we made already. When we drilled the holes for these, we drilled them in every single board going along the side.
So I think what we're going to do is to just have decorative screws there in place.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There you go. Never really tell the difference. Probably actually forget which ones are the real ones. How many more boards do you think we can get up before we have another conundrum?
Don't say that. They're going up pretty easily. I was expecting worse scenarios to happen.
We
but
thought these ones at the end, the curvy ones, would be really difficult.
they are bendier than they first make out to be.
I use my head. It's quite useful actually, being tall for this.
Do you need some help?
No, I've almost got it.
Are you sure?
There we go. The last one was a lot easier than this one. Oh, okay. Then your arms get really tired after a while.
So we finally got it in. And we're using these kind of extender clamps.
Very lightly pressing it together.
Yeah, I'm trying to be careful because it's very supple.
We're trying to leave a little tiny gap between each board just in case when it's expanding, contracting, it doesn't crack or anything. That is a theory, so
Yeah.
it's going to start getting a little bit more complicated now though, because it's got to start going down the curve on this side as well.
We thought it might be nice to have our cladding so that it's like a staggered pattern. Here's the back and there's the front. So a group of B, which is 1 short and 1 long at the front, and then a group of A, which is 3 shorter ones. So I think it actually looks quite nice like that.
Yeah, it's
personally.
looking nice.
If it is more work. Okay, there we go. Gotta have good arm muscles for this.
This is a bit of a 2 boards forward, 1 board back
A
kind
little
of
bit.
project, isn't it?
So now that we're continuing this way, we've come across a problem here where, because of this board is a little bit lower than some of the other boards, the cladding,
insulation board, that is.
yeah, sorry, the insulation board, the cladding is trying to push up against them. I think what we're going to have to do maybe is scoop out some of this insulation board all the way down here. I mean, the only other thing you could probably do is add like a thin piece of plywood here so that...
Give it a bit of raise. We could do that actually. So we're going to use some 6mm ply for that, I think, but we need to taper it, otherwise there's going to be a bit too much of a jump from the pattern that's already on there. So we're going to try using a planer for the first time, see how we get on with that. We're kind of going for a little wedge shape, I guess. It's kind of wedgy.
Off. We varnished them yesterday, we just left them to dry. I think they're looking pretty good. I'll just put them up there like that, and that just gives us a little bit more depth here. Probably in hindsight we should have just gone for 40 or even 30mm boards, but to be fair, these didn't actually take that long, so...
Having a quick tea break, rest our arms. It's quite nattering doing this, isn't it?
Yeah, it really hurts all around here and here, more so for me I think than you, isn't it? Because I'm looking up all the time and using these muscles. It's not as easy as it looks.
If it was straight or on the floor, it would be really easy.
Yeah,
but being on the ceiling and curved,
yeah,
it's
well,
tricky.
It's not only bending down towards the cab, it's also bending sideways as well. So yes, it's bit tricky at times. But yeah, I think it's looking really good. We've just got to do the other side now and just make the holes for the last two lights.
Oh, it's so close now, look. Just there, ready to go.
We just need our batteries down there and a few other things.
That's going to be a good day when we turn on the power.
That would be so good. I'm so excited for that.
It would definitely be a lot harder if you weren't tall. Just got to keep going with it.
I really envy people with a straight ceiling. Oh well.
The last screw is going in.
Yes! Oh no.
You wouldn't have to be a spinner, would you? Only you watch the whole
For
ceiling.
goodness sake, what shall I do? It's annoying. So we've now got the job of cutting this square of cladding out for where the fan is. Now, I'm really looking forward to this, but also really dreading it at the same time because you're working upside down, also you can't see what you're doing. So we're just going to start by drilling some holes just so we can see through and know exactly where we're going.
It should be just between those blue bits of tape.
These are where the frame starts. So if I drill here, then it should be okay. But yeah. Okay, that's through. I see daylight, so that's a good sign, right?
But you haven't hit anything, so that's good.
No. And now we've got a little pilot hole for the whole saw, and just drill a slightly bigger hole so we can get the router bit in there and use a router upside down. I don't like this. Woo! Okay, it's your turn next.
Okay, this is the nerve-wracking bit. Set the depth stop on this so it can't go any further than that, so that should, if we've measured this correctly, nicely run along the frame. And then we'll just go round and just cut out that square. See if it works.
Good luck.
Thank you. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Right, that's 3 sides.
Nice.
That should just come out now.
Okay.
Well, the main part anyway.
Got it?
We got it.
Ooh.
We have a fan! Again!
Very nerve-wracking though.
That was not. I've still got to neaten this up, but
Yeah.
the hard part is done. Get so used to putting the pressure on. Okay,
Well
did
done.
it. Yeah, she worked pretty well.
That's amazing.
We decided to do the router in the end because we could have just cut the boards roughly to the right size. We thought it'd just be actually easier because when they're locked in place and the depth stop set on this, as long as you don't drop it, can't really go too wrong. And that's yeah, it's worked really nice, and it gives a really nice flush finish
Excellent.
all the way around. We remembered to just tuck the wires out the way before we started doing the routering, which was a good idea.
Make sure that the cable goes through the notch that we've cut. Like that.
We're just going along and hand tightening all the screws and just making them all line up the same way so they all point towards the cab. Nice.
Okay.
That's great. So that took a little bit of effort, but really happy with how that turned out, and I'm glad we went with the staggered look. It's looking nice, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I'm very happy. So if you're enjoying our videos, feel free to subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.
See you next time.
Bye.